ways of faith, guided by deep roots in the heart of Africa.
The Comboni sisters, they are strong women. I don't think that every young woman that is inspiring for religious life can join the Comboni sisters, because you need to be tough. The Comboni sisters, they serve many times in difficult places, also in quite poor circumstances, not only as people around them, they themselves, especially if you consider where they work at times in Sudan and South Sudan. This is not for the faint-hearted, so to say.
I am a witness to this great work of Comboni that is going on even up to this 150 years, and hopefully it will go on even for many more years to come until the world has heard about Jesus Christ.
The Congregation of Comboni Missionary Sisters, CMS, was founded by St. Daniel Comboni in 1872 in Verona, Italy, and in 1964 in Kenya.
Comboni himself started his mission in Khartoum and later on also in Juba in the second half of the 19th century. In fact, that had been his dream already as a very young priest, to bring Christ to Africa and to save, as he would say, Africa through the Africans.
The Comboni Missionary Sisters are women consecrated for the mission Agentes. Agentes means to the peoples, peoples that are beyond the borders of my country.
Other than offering spiritual growth and evangelization, they also do their apostolate in education and health sectors.
Our main areas of apostolate follow what our founder wanted. Our founder started a congregation for evangelization of Africa. So the first part, the first thing, the most important is the first evangelization of the churches. Now, originally it was Africa, now it is any part of this world where there is need of first evangelization. But our founder did not only want to concentrate on preaching Jesus Christ, talking about faith. He also wanted to form the whole human person. So his first mission when he entered Africa was to start schools. He started schools in Cairo so that he could prepare Africans, maybe most of those he had bought from slavery, so that they could themselves enter into the inside of Africa and be their own missionaries. So education has always been a very important point of our congregation. We are also involved in health ministry, so we have dispensaries, we have hospitals, and then we also have pastoral work, of course, where we take care of the growth of the local church, and once the local church is grown up, then we normally move on ahead and start something new where the evangelization is needed. Then we also get involved in other ministries like the social work. We take care of the promotion of women because we are very much for the girl-child promotion. And then we also get involved in the missionary animation. We try to remind the church that they are missionary by virtue of their being baptized, so that they can become missionaries to themselves. We are also in the area of justice and peace. So we have right now, as Comboni did in those days, dealing with buying slaves and freeing them and educating them to become their own missionaries. We also involved in today's the new kind of slavery, the human trafficking, fighting for justice and peace of those who are marginalized, because our founder founded us to take care of the poorest and most abandoned. So we have justice and peace and integrity of creation. So we take care of our creation so that we can take care of our common home, which is our world.
As their charism and spirituality state, caring for the human nature, St. Daniel Comboni started the Missionary Sisters to help women after he found out that it was hard for the priests to engage the women.
He called us Ie Madres of Africa. Today we are Comboni Missionary Sisters. Comboni trusts in the women, especially women consecrated in Africa, because he was sure that the mission will succeed. We are called to live consecrated life, totally to give
to the mission. The women, he saw there was a great need to someone to take care of them. And the priest and the men was difficult to enter into this situation. So he prepared the sisters to come.
A congregation that started 150 years ago is now in 4 continents and in 33 different countries. 8 in America, 5 in Europe, 15 in Africa, and 5 in Asia.
Sudan was the first, together with Egypt, because when Comboni was going to Sudan, he always stopped in Egypt for 2-3 months for the people that were going with him for the first time, being prepared to enter into the deep Africa. And so after Egypt, few years Eritrea, and then it continued Uganda, and then Kenya already said before in 1964.
It is a historical celebration, a journey of faith and witness as they commemorate 150 years since the congregation started.
And we, the Comboni sisters worldwide, we are very grateful to God for this great achievement that the Lord has enabled us to arrive at 150 years. We can tell you that, yes, God is very faithful, and anybody who trusts Him, He is able to accompany this person like the way He did with Comboni, like the way He has done with us. So nobody is left out in the great love of God.
I came to Kenya in 73. I worked with the women, Tara Pokot.
The work of the, how do you say, the people, the white people, even. But now I can see very well how the African people, they took our place very well as nurses, doctors, teachers, and catechists. Yeah, they are doing, the work of Comboni still came to reality.
I have really to thank God and also the Comboni sisters, because many times when there was really a lot of problems, they came to help, and they were really very generous.
It will be for the future as well, for young people to embrace this life. And I am very grateful that I have been included in this group of people. The Lord called me to follow Comboni, and that is, I feel privileged.
I feel that I am part of a big history, which in itself shows for me that God really wanted this.
And to look back and to see how we pass this history with this sense of gratitude and trust in God. I feel that we are called to be these witnesses of the gospel to our communities, to our diversity.
Through these 150 years, we are witnessing women who have worked courageously, generously towards the mission, working with joy and animated by the Spirit of God, especially His love and faithfulness. And this becomes a source of joy for me, and I believe for every Comboni sister, wherever they are.
It's a great moment of joy for me, being a young sister. At the same time, to be grateful to the Lord for the history that our congregation has made for 150 years so far.
That all of the young people who feel called to religious life, not to be afraid to answer to the call of the Lord, so that they can go and spread the joy of knowing Christ to all those who are waiting everywhere in the world.
In their 150 years of existence, some of those who have interacted with them in different ways have their testimonies, including the Apostolic Nuncio to Kenya and South Sudan, His Excellency Archbishop Bart Van Megen. He first interacted with Comboni sisters in 1994, while he was still a young priest working in Khartoum, Sudan.
Sisters try to maintain, but which I also would like to encourage, is to maintain that Christian identity, that religious identity of being followers of Christ, of following Christ incarnated in every human being, man, woman, and child, and that it is not just about serving humanity as such, but it's also, and more specifically, about serving Christ in the human being, and to not lose sight from that. So there's always this challenge, I would say, in religious life between the active life, the apostolic life on the one hand, but then on the other hand also to maintain that spiritual awareness, that spiritual identity, always asking yourself, for whom am I doing this? And that is, I think, the message I would like to pass on to the sisters, to continue on that road of a strong Christ-centered identity, Christ incarnated, Christ who reveals himself in the poor and in the suffering.
My message to the Comboni sisters who promoted me, nurtured me, and encouraged me to join the congregation which I belong to is that I really want to congratulate them and to wish them all the best in their ministry. And I pray that the Lord may continue using them as instruments of God's love to all the people they serve, especially the most underprivileged people in the community.
I first interacted with the Comboni Missionary Sisters right from my birth. Yeah, I've really had a long interaction with them. They have had a big impact in my life. And I joined high school in a Comboni Missionary-led school, founded and led school, that is St. Mary's College, Aboke. From then, I got to know the Comboni missionaries more closely, and I got so inspired up to the extent that in my teenagehood, I even became an aspirant to become a Comboni missionary sister. Unfortunately, as I grew older, I discovered that wasn't my calling. During the time as an aspirant, I really got to learn a lot about the Comboni missionary sisters. I was so inspired by their way of life and how they impacted on the girl child education at the school where I was at, and how they impacted on the medical missionary center at my home parish. And then the pastoral life they led, going into the community, converting lives, you know, and getting benefactors to sponsor many girls at school. As such, I'm actually one of the beneficiaries of the benefactors gotten for me by the Comboni Missionary Sisters. The Comboni Missionary Sisters at St. Mary's College, Aboke, supported me through my education from Form 2 until I finished university as a medical doctor. And everything that I am today, I really owe it to them as they celebrate the 150 years. My message is that they need to just keep doing what they do. They have really influenced many people through helping people like me, because the people like me that they helped, now we can also proceed to help a lot more others because of the inspiration they gave us, because of the generosity they showed to the world out there. We are inspired to be more generous, to be even pastoralists as in the mission, even as lay people that we are. And we hope that more people continue to join the congregation and continue to live the kind of life the Comboni Missionary Sisters live, to impact many lives out there.
I came in contact with them when I started my vocation back in 1998, when I was here in Nairobi. Though the contacts were not much due to the nature of the trainings, but I can say that they have always accompanied me in this journey of vocation, because also when I was in Uganda in the novitiate, we had programs together. That piety or holiness is what I would term it as. They are really there to let the people come out that holiness. And the impact that they give to is on the part of education, which was part of the plan of Comboni for the regeneration of Africa, where he said that the schools, whether it is religious schools for the basic education, has to be centered in a special way through the schools and the learning, and the Comboni sisters have really been faithful to that calling, and they do it wherever they are with all the heart. And the school is not just a school where they go to class, but also in terms of their life, the life that they lived. May you always be holy, give going, know that our Father St. Daniel Comboni is watching, is also there with you, is accompanying you, and together, when we will be in heaven, in paradise, we will be seeing the fruits of the work that St. Daniel Comboni had said, I'm dying, but my work will not die. And as it has been passed down faithfully from those sisters 150 years ago, the current generation, you have that responsibility, you have that duty to continue extending the light of Jesus to those who are in need. Whether they are believers or they are not believers, Jesus needs to be felt. And it can only be felt through your work, through the mercy that you show to the other people, and also in your preparation professionally in order to meet the needs of the current church.
Na kulingana na shirika la Comboni lilinipendeza kwa vile ya kuweza kuchukulia mambo ya maisha kuwa ni muhimu zaidi. Na hiyo Comboni Sisters walianzisha hii kikundi ya Pro-Life huko Korogocho, na baadaye kukaja sister mmoja anaitwa Sister Kevin ambaye alisema itakuwa tu Korogocho pekee bali parish mzima, ambapo walikuwa wanaendelea kutetea uhai wa hawa. Sasa sio tu wa mama, wakaanza kushughulikia wale wako kwa crisis. Wakiwa wanasherehekea miaka zao za 150, tunawapa pongezi sana kwa sababu wamefungua shule ya wasichana wa KWPTI. Huko upande wa Pro-Life walifanya mengi ambapo wameokoa maisha ya watoto na pia kupatia wamama na wasichana kuona kuna maisha tena baadaye baada ya kuzaa.
Sister Felista Lotukei said she was motivated by life of St. Daniel Comboni to join the CMS.
And in the same way, I felt so moved by these words, that to be part of this 1,000 lives that our founder desired. Because even today, the heart of Jesus still continues to beat for the suffering humanity, especially for those who have not yet heard his message of love.
She also invites those who want to join religious life to follow their call to serve the Lord.
I encourage you to be attentive to the voice of the Lord, also through the people who are accompanying you, so that the message of our founder, I die, but my work will not die, may continue even in our own times today.
For one to join the Comboni Missionary Sisters, there are specific qualifications, including obtaining a mean grade of C+ and above, a diploma or first degree. Why is their requirement so high? What if one wants to join the congregation and doesn't fulfill those requirements?
Now, without attaining that grade, it is not going to be possible to join us Comboni Missionary Sisters. But it doesn't mean that one is not able to serve God in the same capacity, maybe in another institute. Because for us, being a missionary and international congregation, the demands also is high. Because some of the countries that we go to give service, they accept you not by the fact that you have become a sister, but they take you because of your profession. When they know what you are going to do for their people, if you are in the medical field, or if you are a teacher, they know you are going to take care of their children, then they also give you the visa to enter in that country. So the demand is high like that because of our nature of our missionary institute.
Sister Julia Wangeshu, who is the vocation directress and has been in the congregation for over 25 years, invites young ladies aged between 18 to 24 who wants to join the religious life so that they can discover what the Lord has planned for them.
So you are most welcome to discover what God wants for your life. You will be happy. Challenges will be there, but the presence of the Lord will never fail you.
So I would like to invite everybody to feel this responsibility of reaching out to the people who are the poorest and most abandoned, so that you can make them hear the love of God. You can join by praying for them, praying for the missionaries, or you can even join personally, either the sisters, the fathers, or the lay missionaries, so that we can all work for the vineyard of the Lord.
For more inquiries about Comboni Missionary Sisters, call 0791 403 534 or write an email to vocprocmskenya@gmail.com. Capuchin TV congratulates the Comboni Missionary Sisters as they celebrate 150 years of their existence.
To make a difference in the whole human family, women of the gospel letting go, knowing when it's time to move on and start again, taking love's word far, embracing all the earth. Women of the gospel walking with peoples of the earth on the ways of faith, guided by deep roots in the heart of Africa.